Okay, everyone. This is the update to my update. After roughly 6 hours of listening to the House full committee mark up an amendment phase of HR38, this is the outcome. First, the outcome was favorable. 2A groups, 2A supporters. It passed the committee 19-11. Based on the numbers, that means we at least had one Democrat flip. Okay, now as for the amendments that were attempted to be added, here we go. First, there was an attempt to add an amendment that would bar people who were convicted of a violent misdemeanor within 3 years. That was shot down. Roughly a 17-7 vote. That was a 15-12 vote. There was also one to ban people who were convicted of animal cruelty. That did not pass. There was one to ban or bar people who were convicted of 2 DUIs. That one was shot down. There was a bill, an amendment to rename the bill. I can't remember the wording exactly, but it was kind of ridiculous. It was like a last-ditch effort to be, to be spiteful, to be an ass. They tried to rename it something along the lines of the National Circumvent State Laws Act of 2017, because they feel that this bill kind of bypasses all state laws. But of course that got shot down. There was actually even an amendment, and I'm not kidding, that someone issued, and the amendment was just strictly this: to defy the word persons. Now, I don't know about you, everybody breathing is a person. But they wanted to clarify that the word persons included members of Congress. Now, this didn't even get support from other Democrats. That one was really weird. It was funny. I don't understand the whole reasoning for that bill or amendment, but it is what it is. Let me see what else there was. There was also bills. Damn, I keep saying bills, and I'm sorry, but amendments to the bill that basically would bar someone who had certain domestic violence charges within 3 or 5 years. Because I guess in certain states, certain types of domestic violence is a misdemeanor, and some of them are felonies. So they were trying to clarify what they were to try to come up with a baseline to say if you were committed or convicted of any domestic violence within a certain time frame, that you could not enjoy what this bill offers. Even that got shot down. Most of the amendments were shot down between a 17-7, 17-8. I think there was one that was 18-8, something like that, along the vote. So most of them were shot down by 8 to 10 votes. Couple of them were close, 11-10. One was 15-12. This is a funny line because I'm not, after all that time listening, some of the bills kind of ran into each other. There was a particular one that they were trying to exempt judges. And then the next one was to exempt people of Congress, which really didn't make sense because if they get a home state carry permit or they go out and get a non-resident permit, then they could carry. So I didn't really understand what was the point of it. And I think that's the reason why they got shot down, because redundancy kept being said by the chairman. That it just, why add bills that are amendments to this bill that are already covered in the bill? So, where does that leave us? The big one. The big amendment that us in New Jersey were calling the New Jersey Amendment because we knew it was coming. This amendment would have changed the language of HR38, basically mimicking some of the language in S446, which means that you would need your home state permit from whatever home, wherever you live. You would need that permit from that state to enjoy reciprocity with the other 49. That was shot down 17-9, something along those lines. So it did not pass, which is great news for Second Amendment supporters in New Jersey, California, Massachusetts, Maryland. Speaking of that, the guy from Maryland who was on this committee was pissed off, and it was really nice to see him be so mad because he didn't get his way. It would help California and Hawaii and Rhode Island. So there's like 8 states that it would truly affect, because out of those 8 states, 5 of them typically do not issue carry permits to their residents at all. And this amendment that they were trying to get, they were trying to use the fact that it would allow people who were either somehow barred from carrying a permit in their home state due to a criminal activity, that they would somehow be able to go to New Hampshire or Utah or Arizona, which they called out, and get a carry permit from them. Which they completely missed the point that states like New Jersey, California, and used to be D.C., the reason why they didn't issue carry permits has nothing to do with the fact that these people were not qualified to carry. They were not issued carry permits because you need to have a reason. And depending on where you were, that reason could mean a whole bunch of different things. You know, like New Hampshire, for example, on their carry permit application for non-resident permits, you have to put a reason down. But on the back of the form, it tells you what is an acceptable reason. Self-defense is an acceptable reason. Here in New Jersey, self-defense, or should I say general self-defense, is not a good enough reason in the state of New Jersey. So there's been people that were shot at, people that were raped here in New Jersey, people that were beat up with domestic violence, and these people were still denied, because apparently you have to be killed in order to qualify for a carry permit in New Jersey. So their whole logic on trying to get this amendment to make sure that you have a home state permit, their reasoning for that didn't make sense. And I think the people on the committee saw it. So as of right now, barring anything that's brought up at the full house, or when it gets passed, because I believe it's going to, and moves over to the Senate, that when they mark it up, it's still not dead. It could still be brought back to light that you need a home state permit, because they might try to reconcile the Senate version, S446, with HR38 and make one bill. Hopefully that does not happen, because right now, with that amendment not being passed, the wordage stays the same, meaning, and they clarified during this committee, that yes, indeed, 100% the bill would cover people who have non-resident permits, not only to carry in all the other states, but also their home state. That was very, very plain to hear and watch if you paid attention to today's hearing. So if you are a New Jersey resident and you go and apply for a permit in Utah, you go through the Utah class, you get your fingerprints done, you pay the fee, they do the background check on you, you wait 4 to 6 weeks, you get your non-resident carry permit. If this bill passes, you will be able to carry not only in 49 states, you will also be able to carry in New Jersey. There was also an amendment added that would try to eliminate the section of this bill that would keep the states that you're visiting from arresting you or detaining you while they figure out if it's legit or not. They're trying to say that since driver's licenses are and other IDs are forged, that it's possible to forge a carry permit. So they wanted to add this amendment to allow more than a reasonable time frame for them to hold you while they confirm that your permit is legit. However, their process the way it was worded, could last up to 4 days. So you'd be sitting and holding in jail somewhere, waiting 4 days. That's wrong. And the Republican side mentioned that the National Instant Check system could be ran right there in the police car. Within 15 minutes, they know if your permit's good. So they said. This bill, or this amendment, was also shot down, mainly because there was no threshold on timing. If they would say that they were allowed to hold you for 2 hours and then let you go, it might have gotten passed, but there was no time frame allotted. They also brought up the fact that you need probable cause, and it was really weird, but there was this bill, the amendment to this bill would, sorry, I'm taking a little walk. The amendment to this bill would basically mean the police officers could almost do what they want without probable cause. And that really did piss a couple Republican people off, because they were like, well, you have no reason as a suspicion that I committed a crime, so why am I being detained? And the mere carrying of a firearm in its legal capacity is no reason for probable cause, unless that person brandished it or was doing some other type of illegal activity. So just a simple stop for a brake light being out is not reason to hold you. So this amendment was shot down as well. So where we stand right now is it passed the full committee, and it has 2 days for the House to make any changes because of misspelling or or errors in the writing of the text. After that 2 days is up, it goes to the full House and then gets voted on. Right now, there's the House of Representatives is 435 seats. There's one vacancy, and the Republicans hold 240 seats. You only need 217 to be split at the moment. So 218 votes to pass. So in order for the Democrats to win, yeah, they would have to flip. I can't really do the math right now. I can't even think, but I'm assuming they would have to flip. Let me see, 94, 26, 27 Republicans. They would have to flip in order for them to kill the bill. I just don't see that happening. Mainly, there's 213 representatives that already co-sponsored this bill, 3 of which are Democrat. So, I mean, right there, we're only 5 votes away. You know, I don't really see a hard time getting there. Is it possible? Absolutely. But we'll find out. So if everything goes as planned and there's no hiccups or delays, and if there is, you probably can really blame Paul Ryan. But if there's no delay, the full House vote should be next week. But until then, peace.